Hey there guys, just in time here. Sorry if you've been expecting another PvP video from the Paladin, my level 60 Paladin. There's a lot less world PvP now. It's kinda actually a bummer. Now, I will say, of course, the world PvP situation, that was pretty rough. I didn't really love it when, 6 hordes showed up and just started beating my ass and camping my corpse. But either way, I did get a fair bit of great duels, and even if I didn't win them, it was okay with me, because I won some, I lost some, it was all good. But yeah, so I got a little bored on my Paladin, I can't lie. Not to mention, as much as I love the Paladin, it's mostly the lore and the aesthetic for the Paladin for me. Fighting on a classic Paladin is not always the best. I mean, you don't have any interrupts and stuff, so I've been leveling a warrior. I'm only 17 right now, but I'm really having a good time and not having a good time with these Murlocs. But I have a few little teeny tiny warrior tips because I'm sure you know warriors, man, leveling a warrior is not as smooth sailing as a paladin, You can't heal yourself really outside of bandages. In combat, if you pull too much or if things just don't go your way, you're probably gonna die. As you saw, I was dead when I started the video. And that's probably the third time I've died since I've been running around where I'm at here, just because I'm taking on some risky business with these Murlocs by myself. It's not all bad though. As long as you're careful and smart about what you do, it's cool. You make it just fine. So what I've learned, I did a little research trying to optimize my experience while I leveled on a warrior, and number one is kind of a no-brainer. Start out in arms, if not prot. Prot's not bad either, in my opinion. At least you won't die. That'll probably, arms is really nice. You get extra bleed damage, which is huge. A little more defense from some parry. More rage from charge, and then of course you get this crit off of your overpower, which is going to be awesome when I get that. That's going to be sick. And then some more bleed here. And about right down to impale is as far as I care to go in arms. When I do hit about 25, 30, I want to go Fury. Who doesn't want to do Fury? I love Fury. Honestly, I might do two-hand Fury at some point. That way I don't have to worry about hit chance. And also, I played two-hand Fury in Vanilla, and I remember it being a lot of fun, very cool, awesome stuff. Not everybody agrees on that. That's kind of a personal preference. But that's not the focus of this video. Anyway, so tip number 2 I've got for leveling a warrior a little easier. My basic instinct that, retail kind of got this in my head was spam Heroic Strike. And that is a no-no in Classic. Heroic Strike in Classic is trash. My basic understanding, and I've proved this true to myself, I totally agree since I tried doing what I'm about to talk about. Heroic Strike does not necessarily add damage to your attack. Like, yeah, you get more damage than a regular attack, but it also replaces your regular attack. So you'll see what I'm doing here is I'm not using that. I'm actually using Sunder Armor. Sunder Armor, apparently, while not only giving you more threat for when you're tanking than Heroic Strike would, but Sunder Armor also just increases your damage more than Heroic Strike would, and it's supposed to be far more efficient, and so far so good. And honestly, since I stopped worrying about Heroic Strike and I realized it's not helping me that much to begin with, I find that I have more rage to do the things that really matter. I've got rage for overpower when it happens. That is if I'm not spamming the heck out of Sunder Armor, because it does share the same rage cost as Heroic Strike. But, when you realize Heroic Strike isn't doing that much for you, and, it's just you usually have more rage to work with, because I'm not, who's gonna sit there like, man, I gotta get one more Sunder Armor on, it's not like that, who does that? Nobody, not me. So, that is really, really great. Oh, you bastard Murloc, get back here. I'm gonna die again. And it's my fault, because I'm a fool. I wonder if I can run from these guys. Probably not. Fuck. So another thing I'll tell you right now is something I've been doing. If you need to run, which it didn't happen there because I was forced to swim, darn it, stupid Murlocs, you can get a quick hamstring off, run away from whatever is about to kill you. If you're on land, that's going to help you a lot. It's something I've noticed a lot of people just don't think about, you know. It comes with experience. It's not like it's some kind of top secret thing, but yeah, just hamstring them, run away, live to fight another day. So, yeah, that's been really good for me. What else? Oh yeah. Tip number 3 might be on to tip number 4. I really had no intention of numbering this. I just wanted to talk about it. I've been using a shield. So, at lower levels, people, you know, the strength of the warrior and all their massive damage, the burst damage they have, comes from skills like, well, it's really the only skill except for Overpower, of course. I think Overpower, yeah. Overpower and Mortal Strike are going to be, I think, your only skills that really use weapon damage. So warriors get a lot of value out of a two-hand weapon, a nice, slow two-hand weapon, because that's going to make your crits humongous. So when you get an instant attack that uses weapon damage from Mortal Strike or something, it's huge. It's humongous. So that is why a two-hander will do you a lot of good. But we don't have those until at least level 40. Well, you do have Overpower, I'll give you that. But you know, you can't really. I don't like to rely on Overpower. So using a shield until you have a nice, you know, set of weapons or you're a higher level is the way to go. I've done it both ways. I've used a two-hander. To be honest, at least under level 20 so far, I haven't seen any weapons, like any two-hand weapons, that have done that much more damage than my one-handers. They often have the same attack speed, the same damage, so why not use a one-hander and a shield? That way you're blocking an attack every now and then, you're taking a little bit less damage, and it just works great. It's freaking amazing, I'm telling you. Use a shield until you have a two-hand weapon that's really gonna be better than one hand. I'm not gonna worry about what, like 0.7 DPS or something like that. That doesn't matter. That's stupid. Don't worry about that. So yeah, there's just a few things to help you out. I've seen some kind of, you know, if you're new to this and you're not sure, if you're having a hard time tanking or you just don't know any better, when you're tanking like Dead Mines or whatever, these lower level dungeons, but really this goes for even up to Molten Core, the same thing goes. Do not use Heroic Strike. That's for if you have ridiculous extra rage, which you won't have while you're leveling at a low level. You want to use Sunder Armor. Sunder Armor is going to be great for getting the threat you need. I'll usually, when I start tanking, if it's a group of mobs, I'll throw a Sunder up on each of them before I get back to the one I'm trying to focus on, or whatever the case may be. And, that it helps a lot. That's your, like, one of your highest threat abilities. Just drop a Sunder on them and then stack Sunder on the main target or the boss, whatever you're fighting. And that they will not lose aggro on you if you're doing that. So that is how to tank on Warrior. And as for the stances, I'm in, battle stance most of the time. If I'm tanking, I've messed around. Some people do stay in battle stance. I would say use defensive stance. It's a no-brainer. You're taking less damage, like 10% less damage. Also, you gain more threat just automatically in defensive stance. And, of course, you gain revenge, which that'll proc a lot, and you get a lot of threat out of it. So that's makes tanking so much easier. Don't worry about being in battle stance. I mean, what good is that doing you? You're the tank. You're not losing that much damage. Like, you're gonna you're going to impress your group a lot more if you're a good tank than if you're putting out slightly higher DPS than the rest of them or something. To be honest, even in defensive stance, you could possibly out damage everybody, you know? Depends. It depends on your gear, depends on your skill, you know? You'll get there. Doesn't matter. A tank is supposed to tank. And people will love you and want to add you to their friends list if you're just chill and holding them mobs on you. That's the way it is. You don't see too many people talking about the lower levels when you're leveling a class, so I thought I'd just give those little tips out that I've discovered along my way. And, you know, when I first started leveling my warrior, it was pretty rough. I died more than I usually do on anything. I like playing hybrid classes, so I've always got heals available, and I really don't care too much if I pull an extra mob or something. So it's been a different experience on a warrior. It's exciting, it's living on the edge, and it's a little bit more ghost walking, corpse runs than I'm used to. But it is fun. Warrior's freaking awesome. It does a lot of damage. Yeah, you got a more active rotation than, say, my paladin that I've been playing. So, yep. If you want to be a badass and hit things with weapons, the warrior is for you. And I can't wait. I've got this searing blade, which to be honest, it's a piece of garbage, but I put fiery on it, so it's going to hurl fireballs for 70 damage, and it's going to hit for like, 40 additional damage every now and then with the fiery weapon enchant. So that's going to be a good time. I'm looking to go into Deadmines, get me 2 cruel barbs, and another thing is when you do decide to dual wield, if you do, that ought to help you out because you're going to be swinging more, so the enemy will dodge more, so you'll get more chances to use overpower. And if you're spec'd into arms, which you really should be in the lower levels, that's going to be more damage. You're going to be getting a lot of overpowers happening with high crit chance, 50% crit chance. Woo! Alright guys, that's it from me for now. I am working on another Paladin PvP video. It's coming. I've got some material to work with now. I need some more though. It's been rough. I can't find anyone in the world to really get a good fight out of. And I've been trying to get some in Battlegrounds, but when am I ever solo in a Battleground? I want the team to win. I want the honor. I want that win. I'm not going to run off on my own and try to find a lucky duel, so I'll get it out. Stay patient with me, and more good things to come. If you like this video, if I helped you out, pay attention for more from me. I do have a 60 Paladin. That's my first 60 on Classic. Got my Epic mount recently, my Epic Charger. I'm stoked about that. Been raiding, getting a little bit of gear here and there. It's slow going on Classic. And I'm going to keep leveling this warrior, and if I've got more tips and stuff for you, I will share them. If I grab some sweet PvP on the way to 60 on this guy, I'll slap that in a video also. Alright, thank you. Please like, subscribe, comment, and help me out, and I will catch you next time. This is Just in Time. See you later.